Don't forget that Arsenal will still sign a top winger. With all respect, with Solis can be an interesting player with potential for future, but Arsenal want to sign a top winger, and the top name on their shortlist remains Morgan Rogers, because for Morgan Rogers there is everything already discussed and advanced on player side. So Arsenal made progress over the last month with Morgan Rogers in terms of contract, in terms of salary, in terms of personal terms, but there is still work to do with Aston Villa, who started £130 million for Morgan Rogers, and Arsenal will try to understand if there is room for negotiation.
We said last week on the show that one player who you said was priceless and they had to hold on to was Bruno Guimarães, and then our friend of the podcast, David Ornstein, comes out with one of his famous Ornstein bombshell tweets last night, and Bruno Guimarães informing Newcastle that he wants to leave and join Arsenal.
You have also an amazing players like Odegaard. I like him a lot. You have a very good team. We have to be, like I said, in our best to beat you tomorrow.
What you like so much about him?
He's very good with the ball, never feel pressure. He's always available to play 1-2 touch if he needs. I play against him many times, so I know him well, and I know we have to take care of him, because if he's by himself, he can put us in very dangerous.
Arsenal were willing to. I was reading it, and Arsenal are willing to spend. And I'm thinking, what number is this going to be? £60 million to go. I thought, do me a favour, and honestly, I need to throw my phone off the wall. 60 million quid. First of all, let's just address that. That's got to be some kind of joke, right?
Well, I don't. Well, let's clear it. It's not going to be acceptable to Newcastle United. Look, you will know a lot more than myself in terms of Newcastle, but from the outside looking in, I've always looked at Bruno as the best signing since the takeover.
Yeah, definitely.
He gets Newcastle. He gets the fans. I think with the Isak departure, it was, look, ultimately need to get as much money as we can. They did. With Tonali, you know deep down there was never real love there. Okay, yeah, it's a good few years. His second season, and I think last season, from what I hear, he could have done a bit better. And I think maybe that was best for all parties that he moved on. But Bruno just feels different. He just feels like he gets it with Newcastle United. So I think this one will hurt. It will hurt. And I find it extraordinarily difficult, very, very difficult for Newcastle to have a belter of a season if they lose the heartbeat of that midfield. And I know obviously Newcastle will spend, and we might get some updates over the next few days and weeks on that, but they are major players, and he's a major player and character.
Yeah, they will spend. They're bringing in players right, left and centre, young players, fairly inexperienced, no Premier League experience in a lot of the targets they're going after, which is kind of different to what Eddie Howe's done in the past. I mean, I just said it there, Sam. You said Bruno, priceless. Yeah. You like the higher, lower game, £60 million. What do you make of that? And what do you think Arsenal would have to get to? Do they have to get close to the 100 million that Spurs paid for Tonali?
This is difficult, isn't it? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when it first reared its head. And the difficulty with this situation is that for all the players that have left for very big money so far, they're all sort of 27 years of age or younger, whereas Bruno will turn 29 end of the year. So anyone buying Bruno will be like, well, 29 end of the year, can't offer you that much, no resale value, that sort of thing. But to Newcastle, that's so irrelevant. It just doesn't matter, because he's the heartbeat of the midfield and he's the heartbeat of the team. He's your best player. It doesn't matter what the rationale is in the market there. It doesn't matter what his market value is because of his age and what it would be to the buying club. He's priceless to Newcastle United. So if I was Eddie Howe and if I was the ownership now, I'd be tugging on those heartstrings and pleading with him and just hoping that he's not bold enough to go ahead and really formally ask to leave, because that becomes a point of no return, and that starts very difficult negotiations where you have to go and find a price. But Arsenal aren't going to want to spend Tonali level Mateus Fernandes money because of his age. But that doesn't mean anything to Newcastle, because they can't afford to lose him for anything less than that, which creates a huge impasse.
It's a big decision for him then. It comes down to him. how's he feeling after the World Cup exit, for example? Is he got it in his head now? Do you know what? I've done all I can. I need a mental freshen up. I need to do something different. I need to be somewhere different. But again, as Sam said, you've got to look at it from the Newcastle perspective. You've got to look at it from that. I just think it's too many senior players in one window for me.
Yeah, and over 12 months as well. So if you put yourself in Bruno's shoes, and you've just watched, Isak has gone, and then you've got Tonali, your partner in crime in midfield, he's gone. Gordon is gone. Like this team is, unfortunately, it's kind of emptying out at this point.
There's that graphic, isn't there, which I saw on X. The Champions League graphic.
They're just gone.
Almiron's there as well.
Like,
what are you doing here? but we get the gist of it and how strong it looks.
But Bruno's the last one. He's the last one there. He's sat there and all the seats are empty. And I guess I can understand maybe why he feels this way, and why he may be tempted to go as a result.
Front five, if it was his Gordon on the left, Isak up front, Almiron right, and then the midfield three of Elliot Anderson, Sandro Tonali, and Bruno. Yeah, and you just think, oh, great time. It's a good message to any football fans. You're all football fans watching this. Otherwise, what are you doing here? Enjoy the good times. Yeah, because you never know when the rug's going to get pulled from under your feet.
And get your own name on the back of